played a game during the day. Holy mackerel. Well, it was a very hard played game. I'm a huge fan of Kevin and a good friend. I think he's one of the best coaches and one of the classiest guys in college basketball. And so his team plays that way. They've been in more close games, I think, than anybody. And I don't know, are they 2-5 now? They could be 5-2 real easy. And so we knew we were going to play a really good team. And those three kids are really, they can play with any three guys. Because Seaburn's a pro, he's a very unusual player, unusually good player, and that he impacts every phase of the game. And scoring, rebounding, assisting, and playing defense. Very difficult to guard. I thought we did a decent job on him. In Smith, you have, I call him a microwave. I think I haven't seen everybody in the league, but from the teams I've seen, there's not another guy like him where he can just boom, boom, boom points. And every time he gets it, he scares you because he's good. And Helms is the old ACC pro. He's just solid. And so they're good. And I thought overall we did a good job defensively on them. Our big guys were terrific. Mark almost had a triple-double. But Theo really contributed, especially in that first half where we got a little bit of a lead. But we got 29 points and 12 rebounds and 9 blocks from our bigs. Okay, let's get that every game. But what happened, because when our bigs were helping, when there was a missed shot, they weren't able to block out the big because they were helping the perimeter, and our perimeter did not come down. So the weak point of our game was the offensive rebounds against us. However, you're going to give, not that we wanted to give it up, but we limited their threes. I thought we limited penetration, and it's difficult to limit everything. And I thought Trevor played his best game since the beginning of the season. His 9 assists and 5 steals. He made a couple passes to Mark when the momentum was changing a little bit, or could have changed, because they stepped in on ball screens so you could slip, and Mark slipped. And we hit him, and Mark made good catches and finishes. And Paulo played his normally solid game, and at the end of the game, I thought we tried something that we've not worked on too much. But with the 5 guards or 5 guys, and with Paulo kind of being a point center, and I thought we closed out the game well. So a good win for us. We beat a really good team, and I still don't think we're in the physical shape. I know we're not in the physical shape that we will be in, but we're getting there. So maybe I talked too much at the beginning. I'm trying to answer a lot of questions already. So
I'm just making up new ones as we go along.
I'm sorry?
I'm just making up new ones as we go along.
I'm welcome. I'm tired of reading Steve Weissman's articles at home. Not that they're not good, but just even you can get too much of a good thing.
We asked John about this the other night, obviously, and you mentioned the physical strength at the end, physical shape at the end, but is this looking more like the team you remember from November? I mean, are you seeing that in practice too? Is this closer to what you would have hoped to see?
Yeah, but the element that's changed is AJ, and AJ did not have that spectacular game today. And he's 18, and I thought he played hard and well, but shots, I think every one of our fans thinks that whenever he shoots, he's going to hit. And I wish that was true. But today he didn't. And So he's going to go through, and he's the new element. But Luke, one thing today, our bench really helped us. I thought Joey gave us really good minutes. Jeremy didn't give us points, but he gave us defense and 4 assists and no turnovers. And obviously Theo. So it's a little, where we were really running, and before we'll still run, but I think we can be a better half-court offensive team and a better half-court defensive team. And so we're changing a little bit of that identity while we're getting better.
We've seen Trevor have his share of success attacking the basket and scoring, but his patient play and pace also stood out today and has at times this season. So what stood out to you about the way he initiated the offense today in terms of pace? Yeah,
well, with the starting lineup we have, he ends up being a point guard at times, which with the other group, he was kind of never that unless we just wanted to put him in a ball screen. And so he's a very smart player, and he's strong with the ball. So he can get it, he can get in certain positions and make passes because of his strength. And he's had a really good week of practice. I think he's getting sharper. And he had a terrific game for us tonight. And that would take off some of the load of Wendell. Wendell's not back to where he was before this. Where he's got 1 assist and 4 turnovers. He used to have 6 assists and 2. And so we put a lot on him, and maybe we can take a little bit off while where he's not playing so tired. He gets tired. Although in the last 6-7 minutes of the game, I thought he was our best player. He didn't have a great game up until then. Although he's got he's guarding Sebron, or he's guarding Williams from Wake. He's guarding 2 of the best players in the league. Probably right now 2 first-team all-conference players. So that's had an impact on his offense.
Coach, Kevin just referred to your front court as an NBA front court, and one of the stories surrounding NC State this year is the impact of Manny Bates' season-ending injury. With all that in mind, how would you assess the performance tonight of State's 2 young 5-hole guys in E.B. Dewan and Jalen Gibson?
Well, Dewan had I think, his best game. And he had 3 dunks. I mean, we came over and helped. And usually a young kid might stand and watch. And he was like a jet. I mean, those were 3 big-time plays. Boom, boom, boom. And so to me it shows that he has really good potential. He set great screens and rolled. And I think they have something in that. And one of their, Ross, I think, was hurt, who can also, he's a good player. He's a young player. I think they're a good team. I think they're really a good team. And a lot of teams losing close games would lose heart or would kind of splinter a little bit. To me, they're a together group. They play hard. And our big guys were a key factor in tonight's game. There's no question.
Brother.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you about Mark and follow up on his communication.
Don't they teach you that in journalism school?
You think? I wanted to ask you
it's
about...
It's the Mike class,
I don't, yeah, you're never supposed to give it up. I wanted to ask you about his communication and how paramount that was to everything defensively for you guys, and how has he improved in that area maybe since the start?
Yeah, he was, the way off really impacted him a lot. But also, Sewell and Emil were out. They do an amazing job with the big guys. So this week, they had a week of work. Last night, we had a team meeting at 8, but they were in at 7, working. They were in early today, working. And so they're putting in the extra work. And Chris Carmody is going to be a gem of a head coach at some time, and he's a gem of an associate head coach. And we've been gifted with Emil. And he's been able to coach because Sewell was out for 3 weeks with a knee replacement, and then I'm out, and we got to keep getting people not out, but it's given him a chance to have an impact on the team.
You've had some great battles with NC State through the years, especially the 80s when your friend Jim Delvana was there.
Right.
I think the matchups you've had with Kevin Keats in the last few years have been as memorable as any of those. What about his coaching style makes NC State difficult to play, or what about his philosophy makes him difficult to play?
Yeah, look, I can't tell you how much I think of him. During the last 2 years with ACC coaches meetings and phone calls and whatever, he and I have developed a great friendship, and I think he's going to be one of the leaders as we get rid of the old guys here, and he's going to be one of the leaders. I hope he expresses his voice, because he understands what's good for the game, and I think his guys love him, and they play hard. I mean, the teams he had at Wilmington, were unbelievable. So, Bob, I really think the world of him, and I'll pull for him, because he's a very genuine guy. He's a really genuine guy. Not that other guys in our league are not. When I say that, one of my daughters, the other two, said, "No, you're genuine too." I'm just talking about Debbie right now.
Couple more. We'll go to Aaron and then Dave.
Since we didn't see you in Winston-Salem Wednesday, kind of what were the last few days like, and how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm doing well now. I had 2 really difficult days. We did all of our changes on Monday. We actually had a 7 o'clock morning, not practice, but an hour and 15-minute meeting and a kind of come to Jesus type of thing on how we were going to change and all that. And then we had a really good practice that afternoon. And that night, I don't know, something hit me, and I thought I had COVID, even though I've been boosted and everything. And I had so many of those symptoms, and I really I had no energy at all, and just fatigued, and I couldn't keep my eyes open. And so I came in the next day, and we were, and I said, something's wrong, and so they sent me home, and then I tried to go to Winston-Salem, and then the doc said, you're an idiot, and I appreciate them telling me, not that they shouldn't have said I was an idiot, but I appreciate, by the way, now that they did say it, I got to change that, but I appreciated their candor, and a lot of times in my position, people don't tell me what to do when I should be told what to do. And look, the transition we're making with John, he would have done a really good job no matter what, but really he's been kind of a head coach with me the whole year. So I thought my staff was magnificent at Wake. But I'm good now, just fatigued. But I had 2 really bad days, and no COVID, and I've been tested every day, including today. Just do a rapid, because I had those symptoms. Sometimes you can have something and not be tested positive, but a couple days later get it. So I've been doing the rapid and the PCR for the last 3 days, and they've all been negative. So.
Last question, Dave.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned earlier Theo's performance. What does that do for his confidence after he's had a few games that are a little below par, I guess?
Yeah, I think it does a world of good, and it gives us what we had hoped to have all season long when Mark was out, to have a veteran center, a veteran 5-man in there. And I think today he was looking just to compete, and it just came to him. Instead of trying to measure offense, he was quicker with his offense. He was quicker with everything, and we have to show him that. And I mean, he can be a key factor for us. There's no question about it.
Thanks, Coach.
Right. Thank you.